Alright guys, in this video I want to demonstrate how you solve a problem like this for total resistance. So the very first thing you need to remember is what is your formula. And your formula for resistors in parallel is always 1 over R total equals 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. Now, of course, it goes all the way. As many resistors as you have, if I'm going to have 3 resistors, it's going to be 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3. It really depends on how many resistors you have. So first, step 1. Find 1 over R total. So that means 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 added together. Okay, well I will be looking for 1 over R total in this particular case. And 1 over R total equals 1 over 100 plus 1 over 100. It was 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2, just like I have over here. So that gives me, this is 0.01 plus 0.01, and that gives me 0.02. Notice I'm not putting the units here because it makes no sense. I have 1 over R total. Those are not ohms, those are 1 over ohms. Now, my step 2. Find R total. Okay. So I know that 1 over R total is 0.02. So I can just swap R total and 0.02, and I will get R total. I'm just going to copy and paste this. R total equals 1 over 0.02. If you don't know how I'm doing this, you might want to do a refresher on simple math and things like cross multiplying. Okay? So once I have this, I can finally solve this out. So this is 1 divided by, I'm using this in my head. I'm going to use my head, so I'm not going to use a calculator. So this is 1 divided by 2 100ths, also known as, I can flip it over, 1 times 100 twos, and that would be 50 ohms. If you don't believe me, you can just pull out a calculator and do it in your calculator. Like I said, you don't have to do it in your head if you don't want to. Just follow the steps, and if you need to use a calculator, use a calculator. That's what it's for. Okay? So this is my answer, and my answer is 50 ohms. And remember how I told you that the resistance is going to be less than R total? Actually, the resistance is going to be less than the sum of these two, right? The resistance is less than each of those resistors. If you think back to our checkout example, in a supermarket, a manager opens another checkout to decrease the resistance, to make the people moving faster to the supermarket. And you can only do that by decreasing the resistance. So it would make sense that our R total in this configuration would actually be smaller than either of those resistors. That is a very useful property. Okay, so now I'm going to do another example. I'm going to insert another picture. And in this particular case, I actually have three resistors. So my formula is going to be, I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to add another term. So I don't just have R2 now, I have R3 as well. So this is plus 1 over R3. There we go. So once again, step 1, find 1 over R total. It doesn't want to let me select. Okay. So I'm going to say find 1 over R. All right, well, 1 over R total is 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in those numbers. So this equals to 1 over 200 plus 1 over 100 plus 1 over 500. All right, let's write that down. So 1 over 200 is a half of over 1 over 100. So that's 0.005 plus 1 over 100 is 0.01 by definition. And then I have 1 over 500. So that's exactly 1/5 of 1 over 0.01. So that's 0.002. And guys, if you do not know how to do this stuff in your head, get yourself a calculator, right? 1 over 200. Yay. How about 1 over 500? Yay. So that's, if you don't want to do it like that, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to do this in your head. Do it whichever way is convenient to you. So now I'm going to have all of this equals to, I'm just adding those things up. So this is going to be 0.01017. All right, 0.017. So now I found my 1 over r total. I can go to my step 2, and that would be finding the r total itself. Okay, so 1 over r total equals 0.017. We just found that. So r total, you just swap their places. You put 0.017 on the bottom and r top on the other side. So r total by itself is going to be 1 over 0.017. Over 0.017. Okay. So once again, whichever way you like to do it, I can just plain use a calculator for this one if I really want to. Let's see. Because I'm going to have 1,000 divided by 17. That's not a very pleasant number. So I'm going to just use my calculator. I'm going to have 1 divided by 0.017. And this is the number I get. I'm going to round this up to 3 significant figures. In this particular case, I'm going to have 58, 58.8 ohms. All right. So let's take a look at our original diagram. Notice that our R total is smaller than each of our resistors. Guys, that is your rule of thumb. If your R total is smaller than all of your resistors, each of them, then your answer is probably correct. So that is how you find the R total. This is our final answer.